Yes, everybody. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Friday. And as we know, West Ham can't ruin our weekend because we play on Monday. We did the Julian Lopetegui press conference a couple of hours ago. Go and check that out. For sure, focus counters, monitors. Not great performance today. However, pro rata, I think it's not too bad, to be honest. I don't think it's too bad. Anyway, let's crack on. It's Hammer Settlers in association with KUMB.com, boys. Don't forget to check out the santaco.co.uk to get your personalised letters for Father Christmas and also your certificates, all that stuff as well. All good bits and bobs. Plenty to get through. And what I've sort of decided to do today is this is all exit news. All about potential exit news. So let's crack into it and start with our first story. And the first story surrounds Nicholas Füllkrug. And could it be a case of the old man going to the old lady? Well, obviously, he was a topic of conversation in the press conference today. Julian saying he's recovered from his injuries, but wouldn't necessarily say he's 100% match fit, but he's not going to be match fit, having been out for 3 months. But according to Il Bialeconorom, I'm sure that's how it's pronounced, the Turin-based newspaper outlet, they said that Juventus could pursue a move for Nicholas Füllkrug in January as they look to solve their attacking issues. We've got attacking issues. Should we be looking to solve them first? Anyway, they are also linked with Joshua Zirkzee from Man United. So two sort of Premier League flops, if you wanted to put that in at the moment. Although I don't think Zirkzee really is. I just think he hasn't enough time. Maybe that could be said about Füllkrug as well, potentially. But it's reported that Füllkrug has apparently, or his agents are offering him to Juventus. Obviously, it's pure speculation at the moment, and I think the changing landscape with the strikers that happened on Saturday, due to Antonio obviously being ruled out until the end of next year at the very earliest, in my eyes, curtails any notion that will be open to moving Füllkrug out of the club, and even potentially maybe a prolonged run in the first team might give him reassurances of his role at the club. He's been unhappy, but I think part of that is he hasn't been playing. We know fully, having spoken to a lot of ex-players, that when they're not playing, their head goes lots of different directions, but playing first team football and playing football regularly is their escapism, and he hasn't really had that as such. But we'll see what happens in January. No doubt, we've mentioned about 7 or 8 different players we've been linked with to bring in as a replacement for Antonio, whether it's a short term or a long term thing. Again, we're none the wiser, really. And anyone who says that, I don't really know, to be honest. I'll be perfectly frank. But it's interesting to see how his agents are. I mean, there was talk of him being homesick, so why would he go to Italy? #orcs. That's not in Germany. Now, my favourite media Spanish outlet, Vigias, has once again been talking about Naif Aguerd. Obviously, arguably one of the most informed defenders in La Liga. On his loan spell from Real Sociedad. Now, according to the report, sources close to West Ham point out that a minimum price they would demand to negotiate a transfer of Aguerd would be 50 million euros. 50 million euros, a figure that reflects their growing value in the market, but also the fact of how well he's performing in La Liga. Didn't they keep a clean sheet against Barcelona or Real Madrid or something like that as well? He's 28, so he's literally in the peak, so to speak. And he's been playing really, really well. Now, we couldn't give him away last year. Could we really? But this loan spell has completely rebuilt his career. And, if it's rumoured that the likes of Real Madrid are interested in him, looks like West Ham are going to try and get top dollar for him, which, to be honest, I totally am here for. Too often than not, we sell our players far too cheap. He's playing really well, so we should demand a big fee for him. He's still a good few years, particularly in La Liga as well. Some of those defenders are, Carvajal and people like that, they were into their mid-30s without much of an issue. And yeah, we'll sell him to Real Madrid for 50 million euro. Or we'll have them a swap. What we'll do a swap deal. They've got this young lad. We need a striker. They've got a young lad up front called, he's a French lad, Mbappe. Maybe a straight swap deal for him. Or I've also got, I don't know if you heard of him, a young sort of Brazilian guy, Vinny Jr. Get on the case, Tim. Get up to Madrid. Let's get a swap deal involved. Sticking with La Liga and Real Betis, obviously the Guido Rodriguez Real Betis saga. He's looking to get back, and I think, in all honesty, it probably makes sense for him to go back to La Liga, where his game's suited, more suited than the Premier League for sure. But apparently, according to Spanish journalist Eduardo Burgos, he said that Real Betis do want to sign Guido, but are also looking at alternatives for a transfer, as they believe a move for the West Ham midfielder could be a difficult operation, just like the ball game. They are heavily relying on him wanting to leave, which he said he's quite open to leaving. They understand it's going to be a difficult task to bring him back to the club just 6 months after he left, but are also keeping an eye on alternative solutions. Now, obviously, if he does leave, then we will be a bit light in that position. So it's not surprising we've been linked to a number of sort of CDMs, as well as sort of all impact midfielders as well, the likes of Douglas Luiz and stuff like that. So I hope we get one in before we let him go, because although he's not getting game time, it's a position that it can be useful to bring him on. They have brought him on. Obviously, he started every league game until the last 2 or 3 games, where he's been confined to the bench, but still ends up coming on with 20 minutes to spare or something like that, just to tie up the game. So I think it's important we keep, we make sure we've got an alternative ready for him. And lastly, the curious case that is Maxwell Cornet. Obviously, it's been highly anticipated he'll be returning back to West Ham in January, as Southampton are actually looking for a left winger that they can actually play on loan. So they decided they want to send him back so they can open up that free loan spot. But according to a report in 225 Foot, Maxwell Cornet is expected to be moved on in January, with Blackburn Rovers and Watford both showing interest in signing him. Blackburn apparently been interested in signing him on a permanent deal. Ship him out. I'll drive him up myself. However, Watford might only be interested in a loan deal. But whatever happens, it's clear that he's going to be in and out. The fact is, because he hasn't played for West Ham this season, he'll be allowed to sign for a third club this season, because he'd only been on the pitch, on the grass, so to speak, for 2 games or 2 different sides. So, that's Max. And thank you very, very much. That's it. Have a lovely Friday night. Get curry, get kebab. Chinese, let me know. Let me know what you're having in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a comment, any type of comment. Just let me know, even if it's what takeaway you're having tonight, because they all get into our daily giveaway. Every day this month, leading up to Christmas, we're giving away prizes to you, the West Ham Network viewers. And all you've got to do to enter is just comment. You don't have to buy a ticket or be a member or whatever. Just comment. And every day we hoover up the comments and we pick a winner by random selection in the supercomputer. And we've given away some great prizes, lots of autograph stuff. Yesterday we had the lunchtime game show. If you enjoyed that, leave it a like on that and a comment on that as well, so we know if that's the type of content you like. And we gave away some really good prizes, really, for relatively little work. Signed shirts, signed footballs, signed Jimmy Walker gloves, autographs, metal shirts. 2 winners have got a lovely little Christmas bundle, which I've just posted, going their way. But anyway, don't forget to check out these@mamabrown.com for the latest news, reviews, and opinions. And don't forget to check out thesantaco.co.uk. West Ham Network viewers get 30% off at checkout if you use the code West Ham Network at checkout. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and enjoy your weekend. Much love. Bye-bye.